is on fire and no one can save me but you.
Today, we end this war between us.
Strange what desire can make.
The hit BBC TV show The Peaky Blinders is set in 1920s Birmingham and tells the story of the infamous gangsters from local areas such as Small Heath and beyond. The show has been nominated for multiple awards including BAFTAs and is currently premiering its 4th season. In Birmingham, fans have now been given the opportunity to learn about the history behind the Peaky Blinders by tracing the footsteps of the historic gangsters through the Peaky Tours.
They started because Professor Carl Chinn, who does the tours, his great-grandfather was actually a Peaky Blinder. He was a real Peaky Blinder, so he's written books on the history of Birmingham gangs, he wrote books on the betting, and he knows basically all the truth about it, all the real facts about it. So he started these tours as part of a history tour around Birmingham, and obviously it was a bit slow when it first started, and then the series started and it just took off, and people absolutely love it. They come from all over the world to come and do Peaky Tours, so it's brilliant.
The host of the Peaky Tours is the iconic historian and broadcaster Carl Chinn.
On the tour, it's about the history behind the stories that so many of us grew up with in Birmingham about the Peaky Blinders, but it's also about the Birmingham gang, the Sabini gang of London, Alfie Solomon's real Anglo-Jewish gang, the McDonald's of South London, the Camden Town mob of North London, explaining how these gangsters from Birmingham and London preyed upon racecourse bookmakers to take protection money from them, and how eventually those gangs were put down.
Carl himself has close links to historic Birmingham gangs made famous by the BBC show by being a direct descendant from a Peaky Blinder.
Now, my great-grandfather Edward Derrick was one of those Peakies of the 1890s. He was a violent, vicious, horrible man for whom I have nothing but contempt. He used to beat up my great-grandmother regularly. He was a thief, a petty thief, like all of them, and he was a man who assaulted police officers with a knife.
The tour not only allows fans the opportunity to trace the footsteps of the historic gangsters, but it also debunks many myths that have been popularised by the TV show, such as the story that the name the Peaky Blinders derives from a concealed blade in their hats.
There is no evidence at all that the Peaky Blinders were named after supposedly sewing safety razor blades into the peak of their caps, which they then took off in a fight and slashed across the forehead of their enemy, causing blood to go into the enemy's eyes and hence blinding them and allowing the other person to beat them up. The real truth is that they used to pull their caps forward over their eyes, hence looking like the peak was covering the one eye. And that's quite simply the reality behind a myth.
The Peaky Tours is a must visit for any fan of the TV show The Peaky Blinders, or even just enthusiasts of Birmingham history.
We don't get to decide who lives, no dies.